All right, let's move up student advisory and the Board of Education. Item D.
So based on the recommendation of the board and the discussion with the board, we conducted a process this year to select for the first time during my tenure, and I think in the first time of the district's tenure, with a student advisor to the Board of Education. And we had 10 students that applied to be the student advisor to the Board of Education. From that 10, we then narrowed that list down to 6. From the 6 that completed the process, we did a poll to the student body. So the student body would then have an opportunity to review the 6 juniors and possibly select one and vote for their top 4 candidates. And based on those top 4 candidates that applied, or from the student poll, excuse me, they had to go through an interview process with myself, Dr. Freitas, Mr. Jacobs, and Mr. Durkin last week. And after that, I will turn it over to Mr. Jacobs so he can summarize the process.
Thank you, Kevin. It is my great pleasure to just make a few remarks about the interview process, and I think the recommendation that we are putting forward for the board's consideration tonight. As Kevin said, 4 candidates, they each had 20 to 25 minutes to basically not only, sort of talk a little bit about why this was important to them, but we also asked 5 questions to each candidate. They were the same questions to all 4. And of course, I want to point out, and I think this is particularly interesting to hopefully members of the community that may be watching this. What struck us in that interview process is that all 4 students had quite outstanding academic standings. They came with recommendations from various teachers. And in all 4 cases, I think what struck us was the remarkable depth of their extracurricular involvement. And extracurricular both at RBHS, but also in the broader community. And then, so on some level, if that was the floor, then we got sort of to the standout skills. And you can imagine, talking to 4 of us is probably not, that would probably make anybody a little nervous. But what really struck us was the amazing attitude all 4 candidates displayed. The attitude of wanting to become a more active member of the RB community, the fact that they were all amazingly articulate and just fundamentally interested and informed about some of the things that happen at the school. But what ultimately made our decision, or what guided our recommendation to the board tonight, were their ideas, the specific ideas that the 2 candidates that we're putting forward tonight basically answered in response to a question that was like, what topic do you think we might want to address if you were to join us? And in the case of Lily Adelsik, that was an idea that the outreach to students who are not so active should be improved. She noted the importance of RB being one whole school, and that school spirit should be something for everyone, not just the students that already have it, that we need to do more about bringing that school spirit out to everyone, to every single student. And Lily also noted the momentum that has already been created under the leadership of Principal Freitas, that we hear from many members of the community and many members of the student body itself. And she basically expressed interest in helping to further that even more. And in the case of Michael Suzuki, he specifically brought sort of 2 ideas to the table. The first one was the idea to leverage student input for more and better social and emotional learning, something that, really also quite struck us, because that SEL has been discussed in depth through our strategic planning session and at prior board meetings. So it was like, quite sort of stunning to hear a student, an RB student, sort of say, yep, we need to do better. And Michael also talked about that we should seize on opportunities related to the 5 Essentials survey, which I would guess if you asked 10 members of the RB community what are the 5 essentials, they would have no idea. Yet Michael brought this to the table and said, so the 5 indicators are effective leaders, collaborative teachers, involved families, supportive environments, and ambitious instruction. And I've always felt that that's actually a very, very smart framework that would allow us to better connect with all members of the community. And so again, we were certainly drawn to both of those specific ideas from. And so specifically, we went into this thinking that we might pick one student advisor, but basically because the quality of these ideas was such that we, after the interviews, we deliberated and we said, how could we not, take them up on these ideas, and how could we not have 2 advisors potentially? And that's why we're specifically bringing Lily and Michael forward tonight for the board's consideration and hopefully, adoption or approval. And one thing I want to also say that, which was a little bit of the deliberations about, are we setting a precedent? Does this mean that we're always going to have 2 student advisors? And the answer is no. This was at the discretion of the board, something that we felt we want to try. And we have no obligation whatsoever to pick 2 again next year, or any student advisors for that matter. It's just, again, to reiterate what Kevin had already said, is that there were 10 applicants, and then 6 were further evaluated, and we ended up looking at 4. But in closing, I would like to repeat what I had said to each one of the candidates during the interview, namely that all 4 candidates, regardless of whether they would be picked for this position or not, had already won through their willingness to come forward and engage, and that because of that, the RBHS community had already won also. We are living in a challenging and rapidly changing world, and to see students and the RB community step forward in the way they did is deeply inspiring to me. Maybe because we official adults don't say it often or directly enough to our young adults, let me say it now as clearly as I possibly can. Dear students, and particularly Lily and Michael, we are all in this together, and we need you more than you may know. From the bottom of my heart, I would like to thank all 10 applicants for their leadership. And Bill, I think you might have a few comments about the interview process also.
Yes, thank you. With the one, there we go. With the exception of this upcoming Friday, my daughter Molly, a beautiful, brilliant, sweet daughter Molly's graduation, in which I'll be able to be with her as she graduates. I can say without a doubt that this interview process was one of the most personally rewarding times that I've spent on the board so far. And the 4 applicants, or 4 kids that we'd interviewed, were, we've got 4 winners. Actually, there's 10 winners because 10 applied. 10 wanted to be a part of something. And we stressed there's no right or wrong answers. Just be natural. Just be natural. And each and every one of these kids these children, or young adults now, I should say, have incredible futures. And they need to take pride in what they've accomplished so far and look ahead and into everything that they're going to be doing in the future. So we are very fortunate to have people like yourselves who do take an interest, and thank you again for participating, and congratulations. But like I said, there's everybody's a winner, and great job. That's it for me.
Okay, so Michael and Lily, before the board makes a motion to approve you as student advisors to the Board of Education, your first official meeting as student advisors to the Board of Education will be in August. So we're giving you June and July off, but I would ask that you take some time to either watch the live broadcast of the board meeting or the recorded version on the RB YouTube channel, RBTV YouTube channel, so you stay abreast of what's going on. When you do have officially start in August, you'll be advisors to the board. You will not participate in closed session. You will not have voting rights, but the board will rely heavily on you to solicit the information from the student body so that they have a student body perspective as we discuss agenda items with the Board of Education. And I would expect as we go forward with the impact of the pandemic and how we might be functioning as a school differently come August, your student input will be very well received and very important to our decision making. So I will also reach out to you about being participants on my COVID committee that I discussed earlier in the agenda. So Michael, Lily, do you have any questions for the board before we, if they make any comments or take the motion to the vote?
I do not have any questions.
Hey, Michael, how about you?
I don't have any questions, but I was just gonna say, I think it's an honor that me and Lily were chosen, and that it was really hard to choose two people instead of one. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I would also agree with that. I think Michael and I will do a great job, and I'm really happy that I have the opportunity to do it alongside Michael.
I'd like to add something I forgot. Sorry. For the four who that we interviewed, if there's no conflict or any issues with this, I'd like to personally offer, upon your request, if you need a letter of reference as you start applying for colleges, please feel free to use me as a reference. I'm sure Tom will do the same, as long as there's no conflicts, but just wanted to throw that out there and extend that invite over to you. That's it.
And we're looking for some pretty exciting things from you. Mr. Jacobs, you want to read the motion?
Yes, I would be honored to. Hold on. I move that the Board of Education, Township High School District 208, Cook County, Illinois, hereby approves Lily Edelsick and Michael Suzuki as student advisors to the Board of Education as presented in the May 26, 2020 board agenda packet.
Second.
Is there any comments or concerns? And Ms. Towner seconded. Okay, Mary Ann, you want to go for a vote?
Mr. Durkin,
Yes.
Ms. Ruska, Mr. Jacobs,
Yes.
Ms. Sierra,
Yes.
Ms. Towner,
Very enthusiastic, yes.
Ms. Salas.
Hello, everyone.
Say-
Congratulations to you both, and yes.
Mr. Smithing.
Yes. All All right, let's move back to life safety and capital improvement.
Lily and Michael, this is your opportunity. If you'd like to sign off and just watch the movie, you can do that at this time, okay?
Okay, I just want to say thank you for this opportunity, and to all the other candidates, if they're watching this, I just want to say that everyone was incredibly qualified, and I'm really grateful to be chosen to be an advisor as well as Michael, and I'm sad that my peers couldn't be chosen as well, but I look forward to representing the student body in the upcoming school year. And I would like to thank you all. I'm really excited.
We are so happy to have you, and we're excited for the possibilities. And you don't have to leave if you don't want to. You can stay on, right, Ms.
I'll
Dr.
stay, yeah. Okay, I'll mute
It's
myself now.
their choice. I don't want to guilt them into anything. They weren't expecting to stay on for
It's
a
okay.
3-hour meeting.
They're highly motivated children. I'm sure they know what's going on.
Who said 3-hour meeting? I just logged on. I'm going to log right back off.
Highly motivated young adults, not children. Sorry, wrong word.
It's okay, thank you.